engage. Ha ha. Always wanted to do that. Welcome to the What the Hell Everything podcast with Smitty. I am he, you are you are here. We are together for this fantastic, hopefully, live stream. If there's no other fucking complications. You know, it's only when I want to do something that I hope, you know, a lot of people see. It's only then that something fucks up. If you're watching this in this fucking rigmarole sort of way, supposed to go on YouTube Live, and I am live, but if you're watching this live stream, the video link is from Wednesday's Patreon live stream. I can use the same link, but I can't edit to make a new video, to change the settings to public from unlisted, to do all the things, change the thumbnail, all that shit. YouTube is not allowing me to do that, and if that is a problem in the future, that is going to really fucking piss me off. I don't think that is going to be an issue. I think it's something that will get fixed, just a quick bug. Let's hope let's hope that's all it is. But if you are on the live stream, bless your fucking heart. I'll have the word of the day, but we're going to kick off the podcast with a new segment that I don't know if I'm going to do all the time. But if I do the segment, I want to kick off the podcast with it. By the end of the show, maybe I can answer that question for myself too, because the question of the day, which came from a comment and a suggestion that is going to be featured on the 420 break Stoner Rock request. The question of the day: what album would you have on a deserted island? If you're on a deserted island all by yourself for fucking ever, who knows how long? What is the one album that is going to get you through? And I have so many, and I don't know. I think I know. But by the end of the live stream, by the end of the podcast, I might be able to answer that question. I'll think about it. You never know. But the word of the day from dictionary.com. I got to switch over my inputs since I restarted the fucking computer and everything, because that was the first thing I did when I couldn't edit that YouTube video. I had everything fucking planned out. I'm like, right on. I'm going to start at noon. I got all sorts of fucking time. I go to edit that video to get it ready to post. Fuck, I can't do that. Let's restart. When in doubt, restart. Why the fuck? I don't know.
Not more, not once, not twice, not once, not twice, but 10 times more.
It's a goddamn rad song, I'll tell you that. The word of the day. But yeah, I had everything ready to go. And I go to fucking do that, and I'm like, oh, fuck it, restart, do my little chores, get my coffee ready to go. And then now I'm scrambling to get everything fucking set up. It was all good. All right, let's learn some things. Calm down, Smith. Synchronicity. Is that some sort of weird synchronicity whenever I want to fucking have some special sort of live stream or something? And something fucks up? Is that synchronicity? Let's find out, shall we?
Synchronicity.
Whoa, that's a new voice for the word of the day. Sounds like a fucking asshole.
Synchronicity.
Synchronicity. Meanings and examples. Takes one to know it, Smith. An apparently meaningful coincidence in time of two or more similar or identical events that are casually unrelated. It's like a coincidence, but it doesn't seem like a coincidence, you know? That's just my Smith version. In the highlighted sense, first recorded in 1950 to 1955 in the psychological theory of Carl G. Jung. I think that's how you pronounce that, right? I know he's a psychologist, but I don't know anything else about him. But I just learned something. Haha. Comes from synchronous. Originally from the Greek word synchronos, meaning together in time. All right. Experiencing synchronicity in their thoughts and actions, the duo felt a deep connection despite only having met recently. Why do I have to read that like an asshole? You sound like an asshole, Smith. Stop being an asshole. All right, hey, we learned things, guys. Synchronicity.
Synchronicity.
All righty. Let's just kick this thing off. Hey, let's do a couple headline scrolls. A couple headline scrolls. What is this one? Oh, yeah, now I remember. Bengaluru. Excuse me. Bengaluru from news18.com in India. Bengaluru man dies after friend pumps hot air into his rectum for fun. Because why wouldn't it be fucking fun? Bengaluru man died of colon burst. Cause of death. Colon burst. No fucking shit, huh? After his friend put the nozzle, I guess this is a PSA, kids, right here. Put the nozzle of an electric blow dryer for vehicles into his rectum and inflated it for fun. Give that a shot. According to the police, 24-year-old Yogesh died after his friend Murali pumped hot air into his rectum playfully. It's all good fun. Oh, man, what does that look like? You know? I'll just continue reading the story because let's find this out. Incident took place March 25th when he visited the bike service where he worked, and police told News 18 that Morale was employed at the service center where his friend Yogesh went to get his two-wheeler washed. Police said that after the motorbike got washed, both started playing with a powerful electric blow dryer used to drive vehicles. Morale first used the blow dryer on Yogesh's face, then his back, and finally filled his rectum with hot air. As the warm, hot, filtered air entered Yogesh's body via the anus, his abdomen expanded and he collapsed. As Yogesh collapsed, Morale rushed him to the hospital where doctors said due to the high pressure of the blow dryer, there was massive damage to his intestines. He said that Yogesh needed emergency operation. However, Yogesh failed to respond to the treatment and died at a local hospital Wednesday morning. Holy fucking shit. Yeah, there you go. That's PSA right there. I mean, I'm wondering what kind of fun? Doesn't really matter. You know, was it Jackass type of fun? Was it those two guys do a lot of butt stuff together? I guess it could be Jackass sort of stuff, you know? It could be Lover sort of thing, whatever the fucking reason is. Don't blow air up there. That's the fucking moral of that story. Don't blow air up there. This fucking story gave me immediate questions. Firefighter impersonator with a garden hose arrested after refusing to leave fire scene. A man impersonating a firefighter and trying to put out a fire with a garden hose was arrested after refusing to let firefighters do their job. Authorities said firefighters were called to a home around midnight Wednesday. When firefighters first arrived, they said a neighbor was on scene, dressed in New York Fire Department fire gear and trying to put out the fire with a garden hose. So it wasn't like a fake hose. I thought I was like, oh, it must have been like just a fake fire hose, like a big one, you know, that he was just carrying around. Nope, just a regular garden hose, but he was trying. Firefighters began to put the fire out. However, they said the neighbor refused to leave or allow firefighters to begin their work. After multiple commands, law units responded and took him into custody. Where in here does it say they were high? He was high. Nope, nothing about any substances. That's shocking. That's the most shocking thing of this story, actually. He looks pretty fucking happy and proud of himself in this mugshot that I will save for maybe production into the podcast because there's really no way to bring it in right now. Oh, you know what? When was it? 2 days ago. And this is a great example of, when you see YouTube artists or when people say, you see a post that somebody made and says, hey, please like and share this, or on videos, like and subscribe and things like that. Obviously, you want subscribers. That's going to help the channel. But things like liking and commenting and hitting the notification bell. These are great examples of why these things are key. Because there was a dude that I work with. His name's Dakota. And he actually worked in the kitchen for a while at Bourbon's, and now he's in security. And so I haven't seen him in a while, but he goes, "Hey man," he says, "I've checked out a couple podcasts, and I well, what did he say? He's like, "Oh, they were pretty good." And I get that a lot of times when people have never checked out a podcast and they'll go, "Oh wow, this is pretty good." I'm like, "Well, I hope so. I'm trying," you know. But he goes, "Yeah, I like the podcast, but I don't ever see it. Are you doing new things?" I'm like, "Yeah, all the time, dude." And I post probably quite a bit. Probably to the point of where it feels like spam maybe to some people. But those are the people that are always watching your things. There's a lot of people that watch your stuff and they won't ever comment or like it. You know, they just kind of are just watching from above. But when he said, "Oh, I don't ever see it," I just go, yeah, I mean, liking things and commenting will put the stuff on your algorithm. This is a great example of like when you see like creator friends, artist friends, musicians, whatever, and they're posting things. And I talked to a buddy about it, and who's in radio, and he likened it to you can post all sorts of like fun memes, but as soon as you start posting content, it's like it's weird. It's a weird thing because I do the same thing, and I'm trying to break out of that. I'm trying to commit to remembering when I see a post, when I'm just scrolling through, especially if it's a fucking creator friend of mine or somebody that has a project or a page they're pumping or some shit like that, a channel that they're trying to get big. I try to subscribe to it. I try to like it, you know, try to give it a little fucking comment just because every little bit of engagement, the engagement puts your things out there for other people to see. The more comments that a YouTube video gets, the more fucking eyes it gets put in front of. So that stuff is so key. So when like your creator friends are saying, "Hey, please give this a like or a share or whatever," even just something as little as liking a video or clicking it and watching it for 10 seconds or, you know, hopefully longer, you know, but just those things are so crucial. And again, I do the same thing. You just get into it. You just watch the thing and you go to the next thing and, you know, but that stuff helps so much. And it makes me wonder, like, how many people like the things but don't ever see it, like my stuff, but don't ever see it, you know? And it's frustrating. You try not to be frustrated, you know, that it happens like that, that's just the way it is. But like, give a comment. You heard something in the podcast that made you scratch your head. I said something stupid. Call me out, whatever. But that is so key to growing a channel and growing a podcast or growing any sort of project that you're pumping online, man. And it just helps. So you're helping your friends in a great way. And it is now time for a sponsor. And I'm talking about this fucking show is brought to you by me and my quest to learn all things Irish. And it really is just my the culmination of my quest to better myself and to just get better at the things. And all these things I'm trying to do kind of from the ground up. And it all is going to lead to this trip that's going to take 2 years, starting April 2026, ending St. Patrick's Day 2027, starting and ending in Dublin with all sorts of rad shit in between. I cannot even really put into words how stoked I am for this trip. I have the longest growing list of an itinerary of things to do in Ireland, and not even to mention the fact that I'm going to learn the language. I'm going to learn Irish. And I feel like I'm good at language and very, very capable of learning other languages. Just my little bit of French in my freshman year of high school. I said, okay, I kind of figured that out. But this is way different, man. Irish is way different. Not Latin-based. It's kind of just it's reminds me of Native American, the phonetic way that it's presented. But all of the cool shit that I am going to do and the podcast that's going to come out of it, I think is going to be really fucking cool and really, really good. And I hope you, tune in and turn out for the Smitty Learns Irish Pubcast coming 2026. All right, now what the heck are we doing over here on this What the Hell Everything podcast? Oh yeah, a little shitty thumbnail alert, or not alert, update. And I haven't talked about this in a while. I'm going to show you pictures on the video of my shitty thumbnail. But don't worry, it looks better now. You know, we're getting better here. And it hasn't fallen off yet. I smashed it in the car door in mid-December. And I don't remember when I did this podcast initially and showed it in its full ugliness right here, where it's just totally discolored. I think it actually was looking way worse later on, but I think you get the idea. Totally thought that fucking thumbnail was going to fall off at some point, but it hasn't. The new thumbnail is growing underneath it. And it's, pushing the old one out with it. And I just keep trimming it a little bit. And it's now like at the point. And here's how it looks right meow. All of the blood that was caked in there that people just wanted me to fucking drill into to get the blood out. I'm like, that's fucking dumb. Why would I do that? Why would I drill into myself like a fucking asshole? I am not a doctor, and I'm not doing that. But because it's healing like that, all of the blood has washed out eventually. It probably took 3 to 4 weeks. Once it did start to separate from the cuticle and move up with the thumbnail. Here's a little fucking close-up for you. Here's a close-up for you where you can kind of see the top white line of it part. I'm sitting here narrating and giving you analysis of my thumbnail. But the very top, you can't see the mouse of where I'm pointing, but the very top sort of rounded part of the fingernail is still connected to the flesh, to the tissue. The lower 2/3 of it and almost up to the tip on the one end it is dead. And there's just a little bit of flesh hanging on right at the end of the thumbnail. And it's like my thumbnail. You know how when you jam something down under there and you're like, fuck. It's like that all the time. I can't even really touch it on anything or it just feels like it's going to rip off. So I don't know what's going to happen here. But it is just the most fascinating fucking process that I could possibly imagine. I mean, I was totally grossed out with it. I didn't want to see pictures of my brother's thumbnail when he did it some years ago. I'm like, ew, that's fucking yucky, and it still is. But the more you look at it, you're like, oh, fuck, I could just be looking at my hand missing, something gross like that, and I'd be like, I'd get used to it eventually. And you just start looking at the insides part. But I don't know what's going to happen. I just imagine it falling off the whole thing. And it's just this big hunk of fucking nail. And all I can think of is that old George Carlin bit when he's talking about our similarities. He's like, when you cut your fucking thumbnail, you bend it, don't you? You fucking bend it. And everybody guiltily laughed in the audience because they knew they fucking bended it. They knew they bended it. You want to see how bendy it is. But when it's dead, it's not bendy. Fuck off. I want a bendy thumbnail. So how is it going to be? Is it going to be bendy or dead and stupid? That's the only fucking thing I could think of. Anyway, that is my shitty thumbnail update. That it doesn't hurt anymore and it doesn't look as stupid. I don't feel that bad about having it not covered up at work when I'm serving people food. All right. Let's do a few headline scrolls, then watch the new Penguin trailer and get the flock out of here. Getting about to that time. Strippers' Bill of Rights. Signed into law in Washington State. There's people that would scoff at that. Probably old me might scoff at that a little bit. I don't really go to the strip clubs anymore, There's nothing really to make fun of there. Good for them. You got to have some sort of fucking, some sort of workplace boundaries. And if something a stripper's bill of rights would help, better for them. They're just trying to work their way through school. The first Neuralink recipient used it to play Civilization 6. That's pretty fucking nuts. I don't necessarily know how I feel about that Neuralink yet. I always thought it'd be fascinating and cool as fuck if I could control things with my mind. I joked once and I posted something on the internet some years ago now, when I was starting this podcast, actually, that if I could figure out a way to tap into my fucking self-conscious, imagine the content that's going to come next. But I still don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about Elon Musk anymore. I'm not necessarily a huge fan. I was kind of for a minute, and that has kind of turned. You're kind of like, oh, okay, that's kind of who that guy is. Wasn't necessarily who I thought. And honestly, what happens, I feel like what happens, because I honestly was just of the opinion. I didn't really give a shit that Elon Musk was a billionaire. I'm all for him. I'm all for billionaires paying their fucking share. Don't get me wrong. But I don't necessarily knock anybody just because they have a lot of fucking money. He seems like a fucking genius. Watching him talk, you can just tell he's connecting dots and getting things figured out. Things like electric cars, getting those figured out and standardized. Nobody knew how the fuck we were going to do that forever. The Starlink satellite, I'm a big fucking fan of going to space and exploration. But if you're going to turn into an asshole that's going to be a supervillain, then I'm like, okay, well, and honestly, he could be turning into a fucking supervillain before our very eyes. Because what happens when somebody starts to get attacked for having some sort of narrative, and all of a sudden they're like, I think you understand the idea. When you start getting attacked and put into a certain group, then you start to gravitate towards that group that you're being lumped in with. You're like, oh, hey, come join us here. Tulsi Gabbard is another example that I can think of where she seemed to be fairly fucking reasonable and level-headed and had the balls to challenge like the Clinton establishment, and they said, go fuck yourself. And it seemed like she really gravitated towards the crowd that Democrats are telling to go fuck themselves, And I think did I see that she was on a list as VP for Trump? I don't know if that's true or not. It's just something I saw, and I don't know how true it is. But that would just be like, that's the last nail in that fucking respect coffin. Anyway, back in January, Elon Musk took to Twitter to announce that Neuralink had successfully implanted its first brain implant. 2 months later, we're hearing that person, 29-year-old Nolan Arbaugh, a quadriplegic, while joining a live stream on Twitter, talked about getting the device implanted while using it to play chess on his computer. It's pretty fucking rad. I was reading this a little bit, and it immediately changes your opinion of it, I think. At least a little bit. And this dude said, one of the first times y'all gave me complete control over this. I actually stayed up until like 6 a.m. playing Civilization 6. It was worth it. I think it is the best way to put it. It was awesome. I basically had given up on playing that game because whenever he would play the game, he had to have somebody else do the controls for him. And now he doesn't have to do that. He just has to fucking think about it. That's all he has to do. We are fucking living in the fucking future, you guys. We are living in the future. All that shit we watched our whole lives is happening before our very eyes. The good and probably the bad. It's pretty fucking fascinating. This is the greatest time to be alive. I am fucking certain of it. The greatest time to be alive right now. Recording date and time, March 29th, 2024. What's next on this headline scroll? Headline scroll. The internet is roasting a Michigan representative for mistaking the Gonzaga basketball team buses for illegal invaders. That's fucking hilarious. I always think it's a hilarious term and a stupid as fuck term whenever the internet says this. Shut the fuck up. It's usually just a bunch of, or just a couple fucking assholes usually. But in this case, let's join the internet. The Sweet 16 kicks off today, blah, blah, blah. The Midwest region games taking place, but apparently one Michigan State representative didn't get the memo that the Gonzaga... Wait, let me read this. I fucking skipped. The Midwest region games are taking place at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. I did not know that. Which means that Tennessee, Creighton, Purdue, Gonzaga are headed to the Motor City for their shot at making the Elite Eight. But apparently one Michigan State representative did get the memo and panicked when he saw buses at the airport. A member of the, Matthew Maddock, that's that fucking dickhead's name. A member of the Michigan House of Representatives from the state's 51st district tweeted about buses at the Detroit airport containing illegal invaders, thinking that they were carrying illegal immigrants to Detroit. Get words out, fucking Smith. Happening right now. Anyway, let me fucking share this on the live stream. Maybe you can see this. I don't know if you can or not. Happening right now. 3 buses just loaded up with illegal invaders at Detroit Metro. Anyone have any idea where they're headed with their police escort? I love the fucking the paranoia of everybody right now. Oh my God, look at that bus. Look at those buses. They got those illegals on them, you guys. And everybody's going crazy right now, especially about that fucking bridge collapse. And I hear all the chatter from dipshits around northern Michigan, worried about ships ramming into the fucking Mackinac Bridge. Stop it. Use your goddamn brains. Anyway. Those fucking illegals, man. Breathe, Smith. Breathe, Smith, and watch the Penguin trailer. I didn't even really realize they were doing this movie. And I'm almost shocked to say, even though it's really hard for me to put any other Batman over the Michael Keaton Batman because I have a nostalgia factor to it. I watched that shit in the theater when it came out, and I was, I don't know, when the fuck did it come out? 90? So I wasn't even 15. I was 14 when I watched that movie. And man, what an impact that had on me. But my idea that that's the best Batman will probably never change, that Michael Keaton will never be a better Batman than him, and that Jack Nicholson is the best Joker to me by far. But that new Batman, it's hard to say that's not my favorite Batman. It's hard to say because it's so good and gritty and fucking real. So we're going to check out the Penguin official teaser trailer. It's not even the full trailer. It's the teaser. I wish it would have been the full.
To be remembered like that.
If I didn't know it was Colin Farrell, man, if you would have told me that and I didn't know, I would say you're full of shit. There's no way that is Colin Farrell. That is honestly some of the best makeup work that I've seen in movies. The job that they did on him as the Penguin. And that, I don't even know how you classify that new franchise of Batman. Is it just a new franchise, a new Batman franchise? It's all DC, I know this. But obviously there's the Chris Nolan franchise, so we'll just call it a franchise for lack of a better term. Is fucking awesome. I know they're doing another one with Barry Keoghan. Is that how you say his name? Who's playing the Joker? I saw the deleted scene before, and that looks fucking rad. And he was also great in Banshees of Inisherin, that Barry Keoghan. That Batman is so good. That first scene where they show him and he's attacking the villains and the gun flashes are going off and he's getting closer and all of a sudden, bam, and he's just kicking the shit out of people. It was some of the most real fighting I've seen in like a superhero movie. Take out like the Punisher or something like that, but which is coming back to Disney. All right. Hey, let's stop talking about fucking superheroes and get the flock out of here so I can go do my things and you can do your things and we can do all the things. Was there anything pressing that I needed to get out first? I don't think so. I don't think so. But hey, live streams on Patreon. I shoot for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sometimes I don't hit those targets due to life and other things and things I got to do and errands and projects and all that fucking shit. But those are the target dates, and I'm actually thinking about changing the time to noon because I really enjoy doing this noon thing. As long as I can edit my shit on YouTube at some point, hopefully soon in the future. That does it for me. I am out of here. Have a great fucking day.
So long, sucker.
Good night, everybody!
I am so sorry for everything that has happened.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, all right, I'll see you guys there.
By the bar and get your face, huh? Get me paid, bitch!
Sit, boo-boo, sit. Good dog.
I love y'all very much. Peace out!
Good night, ladies.
Good night.